Right now on News 8 at 9, terror in London. The group investigators say is now claiming responsibility for the deadly attacks in England's capital.
I hope she'd be as happy as her dad and I have been for 57 years.
And a new era of love, how 5 generations of the Quad City family are helping a bride on her wedding day.
Live from WQAD, this is News 8 at 9.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for News 8 at 9. I'm Megan Noe. We begin with new details on the deadly terror attacks in the United Kingdom. ISIS is now claiming responsibility for the deadly terror attacks in London. 7 people are dead and nearly 50 more were hurt. Last night, a van plowed into a crowd of pedestrians on London Bridge, leaving bodies strewn on the road. 3 men then stepped out of the van and started stabbing people at nearby Borough Market. Officers confronted the attackers, who were wearing fake bomb vests, and shot them dead. World leaders, including United Kingdom Prime Minister Theresa May, have condemned the attack.
It is time to say enough is enough. Everybody needs to go about their lives as they normally would. Our society should continue to function in accordance with our values. But when it comes to taking on extremism and terrorism, things need to change.
So far, police have arrested a dozen people in connection to the incident. A vigil for the victims is scheduled for tomorrow near the attack site. Last night's attack in London didn't stop a planned benefit concert in Manchester today. That's pop star Ariana Grande. Security was tight as some 50,000 people attended the One Love Manchester benefit concert. The show raised money for families of the 22 people killed at Grande's concert 2 weeks ago. Several other artists, including Justin Bieber, Miley Cyrus, and Pharrell, also performed. Police have arrested a Rock Island man wanted in connection to a homicide investigation. Officers took 49-year-old Sean Rogers into custody at Genesis West in Davenport this morning. He's charged with aggravated battery of a child. On Friday, police were called to a home in Rock Island where they found 2 juveniles injured from a battery. A woman, Rochelle Davis, was also pronounced dead. 5 people are recovering after a gas explosion at a DeWitt plant. The explosion happened around 7 last night at Guardian Glass. The company says 5 employees required medical attention, but they have since been released with minor injuries. Crews are now assessing the extent of the damage to the east side of the plant. A Guardian spokesperson says the explosion involved natural gas, but the exact cause is still under investigation. Employees should not come into work until the plant is ruled safe for operation. An Iowa man is recovering after falling almost 50 feet from a bluff. DNR officers responded to the Mines of Spain State Recreation Area near Dubuque yesterday. 23-year-old Andrew Freeberger fell at Horseshoe Bluff. Officers say he was with several others in an area that's closed to hikers. Freeberger fell about 40 to 50 feet in an area with plants, trees, and rocks. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, and authorities say alcohol was likely a factor in the fall. Well, the summer-like weather seems to be sticking around, and there's more sun in the days ahead. Meteorologist Taylor Graham is in tonight with our first look at the forecast. Taylor?
Today was another great day to hit the pool out there. We saw highs once again topping out in the low 90s. Clinton, looks like you guys were the warmest spot of the day, even got into the mid-90s with a high of 94 degrees. So overall, it definitely felt like we were in the heart of summer and not just the beginning part of June. And right now, though, things have cooled off quite a bit. We're actually seeing temperatures falling into the 70s, so we've cooled off quite a bit from the afternoon, 77 to be exact in the Quad City area. And we are seeing just a couple of clouds here or there, even a few sprinkles to the south of Burlington, but that's about it. I'm expecting the sky to clear out even more during the overnight hours, and with drier air in place, we'll be cooling off into the upper 50s and low 60s. Get ready for a fantastic work week with more comfortable weather. I'll tell you how cool it's going to get by Monday and Tuesday, coming up in just a few minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you, Taylor. Cleanup is underway at Augustana College after a pipe failure drained the slough on campus. Water from the slough flooded parts of campus and damaged some buildings like Centennial Hall and the Carver Center. Several paths and parking lots on campus are closed today, but orientation and registration will continue as scheduled tomorrow. The Moline Road Bridge over Interstate 88 just east of Silvis will be closed starting tomorrow. Construction crews will be replacing the wearing surface on the bridge and making some other minor repairs. Drivers wanting to cross the interstate to go northbound on Moline Road will need to use the interchange at Illinois 92 west of Joslin. The bridge is scheduled to open by the end of July. In Kelowna, the westbound lane will be closed tomorrow on Illinois 84 between Cleveland Road and the Rock River Bridge. Crews will be doing pavement repairs there. The lane is expected to reopen on June 16th. This week, former FBI Director James Comey is set to testify before Congress. Comey is expected to talk about the FBI investigation into Russia's role during the presidential election, as well as his interactions with President Trump. The New York Times reported that Comey wrote a memo accusing Trump of pressuring him to end his investigation into former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. The president fired Comey as FBI director last month. He is expected to testify on Thursday. President Trump will shift his attention this week to his promised overhaul of the nation's infrastructure. This will include a trip to Ohio and Kentucky, where he will refocus his efforts to boost jobs and the economy. During his campaign, Trump promised a 10-year, trillion-dollar program to modernize the nation's aging airports, roads, and railways. The plan would require backing from Congress. A well-known actress sent Knox College graduates off into the real world today. Eva Longoria gave the commencement address at Knox College in Galesburg. The actress and star of Desperate Housewives received an honorary degree in fine arts. She also sent students a message about finding themselves and embracing diversity.
She's an amazing, empowering woman of color, so I'm hoping to hear a lot about her experiences and like the changes and growth that she went through in all her successes.
Students then received their diplomas on the South Lawn of Old Main. Some students received double degrees at Davenport North High School's graduation today. More than 30 students received their high school diploma weeks after receiving a college associate's degree. Students completed 62 college credit hours through Scott Community College over the past 4 years. They walked in the college and high school ceremonies but got both diplomas during today's graduation. 5 generations of family made up one bridal party for a Davenport woman getting a second chance at love. News 8's Lauren Simone shows us how this group of women builds bonds that will last a lifetime.
All right, that looks good.
Is it draped good the way I wanted it in the back?
Yeah.
54-year-old Susan Brown is getting married, and she's getting a lot of help from a special group of bridesmaids.
The youngest is Lucy Graves, my granddaughter. She's 1. My daughter, Danielle Graves, is 27. Marianne, my mom, and Mary, my grandma.
5 generations of women from 1 to 96 years old. Susan first got the idea from her daughter, Danielle.
Yeah. I asked her, and of course she was excited, and I thought, Lucy could be the flower girl. And I thought, oh. I called my mom in Florida. I said, Mom, I want you to be my bridesmaid. And then I thought, Grandma has to be here too. You look wonderful. You look spiffy now? Okay. It looks spiffy. Now we just got to get that on the back.
A wedding this bridal party says is a dream come true for Susan after tragedy struck this family just 4 years ago.
We lost my dad. He fought cancer for 6 months, and I saw my mom fall, and I saw her meet Ed, and I saw her rise again. She had a light.
That's only brought this family closer.
You know what it feels like to want somebody here and they're not here, and to have all 5 generations of us here. I can't put it into words. It's so rare that it's just so special that we can all be here.
And it's great to see her happy again, and I hope she's as happy as I've been. That I hope she be as happy as her dad and I have been for 57 years.
And you may kiss your beautiful bride.
Celebrating a new era of love for generations to come. In Davenport, Lauren Simone, WQAD News 8.
Thank you, Lauren. The 2 newlyweds plan to take a tour of Florida beaches for their honeymoon in a couple of months. There's much more to come right here on News 8 at 9. Still ahead, safety alert. The defect forcing Harley-Davidson to recall thousands of motorcycles.
Speaking of Florida beaches, that's what it felt like here in the Quad Cities today, but things are going to be cooling off as we head into the work week. I'll tell you how cool coming up in just a few minutes.
You're watching WQAD. This is News 8 at 9. Storm Track 8 weather.
Well, it sort of felt like we just skipped June altogether and jumped right into mid-July or something.
Yeah, Mother Nature got a little bit ahead of herself for the first weekend of June.
I'd say so.
Yeah, but you know what? I think everybody was kind of antsy to get into their pools and everything like that, so it was the perfect
a good
weekend
excuse
for
to
it.
do that. Yes.
Yeah, you know what? Exactly. And things have actually cooled off quite a bit since this afternoon. We did reach a daytime high here in the Quad Cities of 92 degrees. That is well above average for this time of the year, where typically we see highs in the upper 70s and lower 80s. Right now, though, this evening, feeling pretty nice outside, and a lot of those clouds have cleared out of the way for the Quad City area. The winds have also calmed down quite a bit since this afternoon, and we're sitting at 77 this evening. Still seeing some cloud cover to the south of the Quad Cities, where this cold front is still right over us, taking its sweet time continuing to move off to the south. But as it does move further southward, we're going to see some more dry air fill in behind it. We've actually saw just a little bit of that earlier today and throughout the evening. So we started off our Sunday with dew points in the 60s, and now many of us are starting to see dew points in the 40s and the 50s, especially to the north of the Quad City area. So again, we have this front basically setting up right over us. You can see the difference between the humidity and the dry air. So you've got some dew points in the 40s around Cedar Rapids, but we're still hanging on to dew points in the 50s here in the Quad Cities. Things are a lot more muggy around Burlington with that dew point just shy of 70 right now. So many of us seeing temperatures in the 70s this evening. Once we head into the sunrise or so, we'll be cooling back down into the upper 50s thanks to that dry air. Maybe some spots even getting into the mid 50s like Maquoketa and Galena to the north of the Quad Cities. And things tonight remaining very, very quiet. So a lot of those clouds continuing to clear out of the way. And we'll see a little bit more of a wind coming out of the north to kick off our Monday. We basically have wall-to-wall sunshine for the beginning part of our work week. The winds picking up a little bit more out of the northeast are going to keep things on the cooler side tomorrow. Still warm though, it's still June, so expecting highs to be topping back out into the low 80s and upper 70s for our northern hometowns. Put a high of 82 in Muscatine, 80 in Savannah, 81 in Clinton, 80 in Sterling and Rock Falls. We'll get just a little bit warmer to the south of the Quad Cities, where things will be warming back up into the mid 80s around Mount Pleasant, Wapello at 83. And I'm expecting daytime highs here in the Quad Cities to top out in the low 80s, right around 82. So things cooling off about 10 degrees from what we had today. And in fact, the sunshine really going to stick around for the entire work week, it looks like. So rain chances tomorrow, Tuesday, heading into Wednesday, pretty much null. And next time I suspect just a little bit of rain will be Thursday night, but even then not going to be very much. And even looking out after that, things looking very, very dry. We're kind of settled in this non-active pattern here for the next 6 to 10 days. So if you like the sunshine, there's a whole lot of it coming your way this week. 59 for your overnight low, things cooling down quite a bit, and we'll see those clouds clearing out of the way. Daytime highs are going to be much cooler than what they were this weekend, with highs only getting into the upper 80s, and the humidity also not going to be nearly as much of an issue tomorrow. Even going to be a little bit cooler by Tuesday and Wednesday with high pressure moving in from the north, so we'll only get up into the upper 70s. Things warming up a little bit by Thursday and Friday. Again, next chance of rain will be late Thursday and into Friday afternoon. But I'm not really seeing a washout by any means. Again, we're really going to be set in this dry pattern.
Sounds like you can kind of kick your feet up in the weather center.
Yeah.
Not a lot of work for you to do this week.
Yeah, we're on Easy Street here at News 8.
Hey, I'll take it. Thank you, Taylor. Still ahead on News 8's online outrage. The criticism Uber is facing on social media for its fares after the deadly London attack. And Breaking Barriers, the latest superhero flick, now making movie history in its box office debut. topping your business headlines tonight. Uber is facing some criticism after last night's deadly terror attacks in London. Some people on social media claim the ride-sharing app took too long to deactivate its surge pricing for those trying to seek safety. Fares are calculated based on demand for rides, so the higher the demand, the more the ride may cost. An Uber spokesperson says the company will not charge for rides taken from areas near the attacks. The company says it suspended surge pricing as soon as it learned about the incident. Harley-Davidson is recalling 57,000 motorcycles for an oil line defect. The recall covers several models built between July of 2006 and May of this year. The company says a clamp on an engine oil cooler line may not have been installed correctly, which can cause oil to spill into the path of the rear tire. So far, 2 crashes and 1 minor injury have been reported. Dealers will inspect the clamps and fix them for free. Toyota is recalling some of its pickup trucks because they can suddenly stop working. The automaker says 32,000 Tacoma models with V6 engines are on the list. They were made in 2016 and 2017. Toyota says a problem with the truck's anti-corrosion coating can cause engines to stall, sometimes without warning. Owners will be notified about a free fix next month. Wonder Woman is making history this weekend in its box office debut.
If you believe that this war should stop, help me stop it right now.
The movie made $100 million. This makes it the biggest film opening ever for a female director. It is also the first major superhero film led by a woman. The animated kids flick Captain Underpants came in second with $23.5 million. Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales comes in third with $21 million. And Regal Cinemas is offering families a cheap way to go to the movies this summer. Select theater locations, including the one in Moline, will show family-friendly movies for $1. It's part of the theater's 9-week film festival. The movies are shown at 10 on Tuesday and Wednesday mornings. For a full list of the movies you can take your kids to, just go to our website, mytv8-3.com, and click on the News tab. Coming up on News 8, dress for success. What's so special about this tie a father wore to his son's high school graduation? Finally tonight, the father of a Texas high school graduate celebrated his son's success with the ultimate throwback gift. 18-year-old Dylan Olivo made his dad this Pokemon tie for Father's Day back in the 1st grade. And 11 years later, it made a surprise appearance for his big day. A photo of the pair on Twitter has already received more than 400,000 likes. According to Dylan's profile, he'll be attending the University of Texas in Austin. That is such a cute idea.
Oh, that's adorable. I mean, the things that parents do. I mean, I know my brother and I, we used to, you know, make my parents go out of their way to buy Pokemon cards, go watch
I don't think
the movies.
Pokemon really ever goes out of style, so
No.
it's just making a fashion statement,
It's
really.
a classic, yes, it's timeless. What can you say?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, tonight finally cooling down into the upper 50s. We'll see just a little bit of a wind coming out of the north. Tomorrow things warm, but definitely not as toasty as what it was today. We'll see highs in the low 80s, sunshine, full blast from Monday through Wednesday. Can't really ask for anything more for the work week.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yes.
Thank you all for watching News 8 at 9. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. Have a great evening, everyone.